Alabama Hills.
We're Brian and Emily, and this is our adventure pup Wes. For years, we wondered what it would be like to step away from our 9-to-5 careers to travel and live in a van full time. Earlier this year, we decided to take that leap and hit the road. Life is short, the world is huge, and we want to explore as much of it as we can to share with you. Come along for our adventure out there.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. After a couple very relaxing nights at Benton Hot Springs, we are continuing our way south on the 395. We're headed towards a place called Alabama Hills. It's about, it's noon now. We've been driving for a little bit. We're both getting hungry. Luckily, we're about to go through the town of Big Pine. And if you are ever craving barbecue on 395, there's only one place to go, and that's Copper Top BBQ. Yum. We're headed there now. I got the tri-tip sandwich with mac and cheese. This is unreal.
I got the pork and mac bowl, and this pulled pork is so good.
Copper Top never disappoints. You really can't order anything wrong there. And if you're like me, I'm not a huge fan of smoky stuff, but it's just enough smoke that it gives it really great flavor without being overpowering. And everyone that works there is super friendly. It's busy. For a while, I actually think it was the #1 rated restaurant on Yelp in the entire country. So definitely worth a stop. If you see that billowing smoke in Big Pine, pull over and stop at Copper Top. Now we're gonna head down a little bit further. Hopefully we can get a campsite at Alabama Hills tonight. It's a Saturday night and the place has become really busy for great reason. It's a beautiful dispersed camping area, although they have put in some regulations recently, which we'll talk about when we get to where we're going tonight. But I'm crossing my fingers here that it'll work out. We can get a spot.
We're entering the Alabama Hills area, but we didn't know that the main road up to Whitney Portal was closed. They're doing road work. So we're on a detour. It's actually really cool. It's just a lot more of these boulders out here than we thought. This is a pretty cool little detour. I didn't even know there was a side road, did you? Yeah, this is neat. I mean, you're really in the boulders. It's a super windy, narrow road though. There were signs saying trailers, no trailers allowed, a bunch of turnaround points. You can see why. Wow, look at that. Hopefully the detour means we'll be able to find a place to camp. There are a lot of people here. I think I'm just gonna start going down each road we see to try to get a campground. They're marked, so it tells you if there's camping or no camping. I just know that they made it really limited, but it looks like there could be a couple promising spots up here. We've camped over here before. Trying to get level right now. Don't want to dig out here. Might take a minute, but we'll get it. Our Max tracks change colors. Will you stop me before we get to the rock back there?
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop.
It's not perfect, but it'll work. We don't have a propane fridge, so it really doesn't have to be level. And we sleep with our heads. Our heads are gonna be higher than our feet. That's really mostly what I care about. So, home for a couple days. Alabama Hills.
See what Wes thinks.
I love this spot.
We got so lucky. We've been here a few times in the past and have had to settle for nasty lasties because camping has gotten really limited out here. But we got a really cool spot tonight. There are definitely some overlanders in panic mode right now. Just driving through the desert trying to find a spot for the night. So yeah, we lucked out.
So at Alabama Hills now, as of October 2nd, 2024, I believe it was, so just a couple of months ago, you actually have to go onto the BLM website and pick up a free camping permit in order to camp here. The permit's valid for a year, but it basically just says that you agree to all the rules and regulations and you're going to leave this place beautiful so that others can enjoy it too. And you also acknowledge that you're only going to camp in designated sites. And we came about like halfway in, I think. Movie Road that you come in on is about 2 miles long. Where we are, we probably drove down like a mile and then turned into the boulders to try and find a spot. So I don't know, how much more is still available this weekend down that way, but
I mean, there's a guy a mile out there who just pulled into our little spot here, and he's still searching.
yeah.
Hopefully he finds something.
I mean, it is the weekend right before Christmas, so I think it's probably going to be a lower use weekend because a lot of people are with family and friends, but it's competitive out here to get a spot. But so worth it. If you can come out here to Alabama Hills, highly recommend.
There's nothing like this.
No, the rocks are so cool. We're really looking forward to showing you guys around some more this weekend. I think first we're going to go ahead and get a fire going, and we got something cooking in the Dutch oven tonight. Yeah?
Yeah, sloppy joes.
All right, let's get to it. It is winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. So things got dark and cold just on the eastern Sierra here. We've got a beautiful view of Mount Whitney. We'll share a little bit more tomorrow about why Mount Whitney is a very, very special place for us. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get dinner prepped. Sloppy Joes, they're so good in a Dutch oven. Absolutely love them. And it just feels like the perfect thing to cook on this cold night over the fire.
Brian rearranged the fridge. Now I can't find anything. Brian. Ground turkey. That was way harder than it should have been to find. Tiny spaces. Got one more thing for you. Promise just one thing. Turkey.
Back on for about another 10 minutes, I think. Oh, look at that.
What?
All right, hit the cheese pull. Monster cheese is the secret weapon to a good sloppy Joe. We made them extra sloppy for you. Look at that. What a great way to end this day. Weather's been perfect. We had a really nice campfire. We did some pretty good Dutch oven cooking. And I think this is going to be it for the night. Extra sloppy. Sloppy Joes for the win. Go check out that recipe. Good night. See you guys in the morning.
Good morning. It was so quiet and peaceful here last night, and despite being pretty unlevel in the van, I slept pretty good. So today I think we're gonna go wander around, see if anybody left any firewood, hit any of the sites around us, and see what else we can find. We found a couple of pieces of firewood to add to the bundle that we have, but what we also found was this free site available behind me. Our site wasn't bad. Our site was really cool. It was beautiful, surrounded by boulders, but this site is much bigger. And then you've got a great view of the Eastern Sierra here. Hoping that Whitney comes out later. She's surrounded by clouds right now. But Brian is packing up our stuff. I'm sitting here to make sure that we can have this spot, and I think we're gonna call this night number 2 here.
What do you think of our new spot?
Well, dig it, yeah? Are we level?
I mean, we're gonna be about as close as we were on the other side. We're looking pretty level. I don't even think we need the max tracks today.
So deep in love, oh yeah, the wonderful girl, the loveliest girl in this whole wide world. Oh, it's wonderful to be in love. Nothing is greater beneath the sky above, and I'm in love.
So we're about a mile outside of camp on the Arch Loop Trail. We have made our way to Mobius Arch. And right here is Mount Whitney. This is a really popular view for photographers and vloggers. And we were lucky enough to get like a view of Mount Whitney today. She was hiding out all morning. So yeah, pretty cool. And we have it to ourselves for, I'd say, another minute. When we get back to camp, we have a very fun, for us, interesting story about Mount Whitney. Very special to us. All right. Well, we have a nice little fire ripping, and I think we're going to start doing a little segment called Campfire Stories, which we're thinking about naming Only Vans Stories.
Probably gonna get a copyright infringement for that. Whatever.
But yeah, for those of you that don't know or didn't already know, Mount Whitney is the tallest peak in the lower 48, the contiguous United States. At how tall?
14,505 feet, but I've also seen 14,511 feet, so I think it depends on the surveyor.
Where you're standing. But Mount Whitney also holds a very special place in our hearts, which is what we're going to get into now.
So in 2018, Brian and I and my brother John and his then girlfriend at the time, who's now his wife, Asha, backpacked the High Sierra Trail. And the High Sierra Trail starts in Sequoia National Park, all the way on the other side of the Sierra Mountains, and traverses up and over
72 miles.
Is it 72
I
miles?
believe it's 72.
I think we might need a fact check
Or correct us.
on that.
But,
We should know it's been a minute though.
but if you have short legs, is it more?
I mean,
and if you
it
have
should
long
be
legs?
more because I have really, really short legs.
But it took us 7 nights, correct?
Yeah, we were on the trail for 7 nights and
7 sweaty, gnarly.
they were pretty bad, but you know, it was all fun. So yeah, 72.2 miles. Good job. Better memory than me. So the first night was a pretty memorable night for us. I remember when we were at the ranger station, they specifically said, don't hang your clothes in the trees at night because the deer like to lick the salt off of your clothes. So after the first day, we ended up at 9 Mile Creek. We hiked 9 miles that day. And what did we do?
I didn't listen. I hung my underwear up in a tree. And the next day, some bear cubs were trying to get to them. And
We didn't know it at the time though.
Yeah.
We heard some rustling and we thought that it was just like deer trying to lick the salt off of his chonies.
And one of those cubs literally rolled into our tent. And we were like, what was that?
We just saw this little ball of black like hit the corner of the tent.
So I peeked my head out the window, only to see a mama bear about 10, 15 feet away. And on the other side of her was a fallen log. And all of a sudden, these 2 bear cubs come peeking up over the log. And we're like, oh no, we're way too close to cubs and mama. But mama just kind of did this little huff. And it was kind of like, let's go, let's get out of here. But yeah, really cool experience to be that close to a bear. But mama bear, and it wasn't like our Tahoe bears are well fed. Not all of it's good, well fed, but they're bigger, healthy looking bears. This bear was wild. But yeah, really cool experience.
It was cool. And then, so we continued hiking for the next 5 nights. We passed some beautiful, beautiful, stunning scenery. Like, I'll never forget Valhalla. There's this place called Valhalla and Hamilton Lake, and it is just stunning. We weren't vlogging at the time, but I do have some old GoPro footage that I'll try and put in here for you guys. But the whole thing was amazing. And then on the second to last night, we needed to get into position to summit Mount Whitney the following morning, really, really early in the morning. And we had been having this cycle of afternoon thunderstorms over the past few days. So we knew we needed to get to Guitar Lake, which is where we would spend the night before we summited Mount Whitney the next day. Guitar Lake is above the tree line. There's nothing around. It is literally
Boulders in a lake.
just granite boulders in a lake. And we were probably, I don't know, a half an hour to an hour too late getting up to Guitar Lake. By the time we got up there, it was hailing like you would not
Yeah,
believe.
the skies just opened up. And it's kind of crazy how soaked you can get from hail. But
Yeah.
we were completely soaked and getting pelted.
I remember one time, oh my gosh, you were so sweet. Like, we were just dying, like, it was so scary. And I had on like a tank top and my head hurt. I didn't have a hat on, and we were like hiding behind this big granite boulder, and Brian gave me his hat to wear. And
Ouch.
that was adorable because you don't have much else to
Yeah.
protect it with.
Explains a lot.
So we got a break in the weather for like a split second. We thought, okay, this is our chance. Let's set up the tent. And as we are starting to set up the tent, like
Too
just
late.
again, the skies just opened up. All we could do at that point was literally like cover ourselves with the rain fly to try and protect ourselves. I've got a picture I'll put in here that my brother took of us with just our boots sticking out from under the rain fly. And that lasted, I don't know, maybe another half an hour. It felt like eternity.
Yeah. And then we got another break, and we were actually able to set up our tent and kind of get some stuff put inside. And then the lightning started. A lot of lightning.
So scary.
I don't remember how many strikes happened, but way too many and really close. And every time we'd hear a strike, we expected to hear someone screaming. And when it was all said and done, I think we were really surprised that out of all the backpackers that were in that area, everyone was safe. You know, a little shooken up and wet, but that was super intense.
I remember when the lightning storm stopped, it was like, there were probably, I don't know, maybe a dozen other tents up there with us. It was like everybody emerged from their tents and like was
Did I
looking
seriously survive
around.
that?
Like, is everyone okay? Yeah, so that probably stopped, I don't know, around 6 or 7 p.m. Just in time we made some dinner to go to sleep and
Try
wake
to
up.
dry whatever we had out, like
Oh,
our
yeah.
socks, our boots, because we had to get up really early the next morning to summit Whitney, and that wasn't fun either. It was freezing cold when we woke up. My boots were still wet.
Ugh,
And
yeah.
then we left a little later than a lot of the other backpackers.
And by later, he means like 1 a.m. in
Yeah.
the morning. Like, we were super early.
Talk about a defeating feeling when you go a quarter mile, half a mile, and you can't see the trail. It's too dark, but you can see headlamps.
Yeah.
All these different switchbacks. And the whole time you're like, I have so far to go. There is a purpose. This whole story, I guess, has a purpose. But we could not make it to Whitney, and there was another storm on the way, and I told Emily at one point, I will carry your backpack.
I didn't let him.
have
I did not
to
let
get-
you.
That was probably the toughest morning, was getting up there. But yeah, I was on a mission.
He was on a mission. Little did I know, he had been carrying a little ring in his backpack the whole way, and I have no idea how he hid it for me to this day, because when you're backpacking on a trail like that, there's so many times where like I needed to get bug spray or like sunscreen or something out of your backpack, and it wasn't like there was a lot of places to hide it.
I think I kept it in like my little zip pocket.
I
and
don't
had
know.
to check on it every now and then.
So we get up close to the summit, and Brian takes my hand. He held my hand, led me up to the summit, and then
with my shaky self got on.
I'm so glad you didn't drop the ring.
I thought I was gonna drop it, and I kept handing her random stuff out of my pocket because I couldn't find the ring. And then, yeah, I proposed to my best friend.
Aww.
Top of Mountain.
And I wish I could remember what he said, but I think I was so oxygen deprived because we were so high up. All I knew was he was down on one knee. I didn't care what he said. I was going to say yes.
It was very, very, very special day.
Yeah, it was. And then it was time for us to head down the famous 99 switchbacks to get to this side of the Sierra. And I remember telling just about every single person we passed, we just got engaged on the summit. I was so happy.
It was pretty cool. And then the next round of storms came.
Yeah.
And we ended up, I'm pretty sure we ended up in our tent that whole day for 12 hours, just stuck and feeling really bad for anyone that was still on the trail, still up at Whitney, still at Guitar Lake, because that was another really loud storm that came through.
We spent the night there. I think we were at trail camp that night for the storms, and then we exited Whitney Portal the next day, and they have a little general store at Whitney Portal that I don't know if they really are the best burgers, but after hiking that far,
72 miles,
they were the best
almost
burgers.
dying. Yeah, the best
the
burger
world.
and beer.
Yeah.
And I swear I'd never backpack again. But that we've gone on quite a few. We both love backpacking.
Yeah. So that's our little Whitney story. It will always hold a very, very special place in our hearts. I love being able to look at her right now and have all of those memories. And if you guys did like our Only Vans Campfire story, let us know. Comment below Only Vans, and maybe we'll start doing some more story time like this so you can get to know a little bit more about us personally and our history. And
I like doing more things than just start fires or drive, but
it seems like a lot of our vlogs. Yeah.
I mean, it's my favorite thing to do.
Let's enjoy this fire.
Yeah.
What's for dinner tonight?
Tacos!
Taco night.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Pretty basic tacos. We're just trying to use up all of our groceries, but I will never complain. Taco night. There's taco music playing in my head right now. So we're gonna eat these bad boys up, enjoy a fire the rest of the evening, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Cheers. Wow, what a beautiful sunrise that was. And what a great reminder of how awesome this year has been for us. We're really excited for the next year and what's to come, and we're so glad you have all decided to join us.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. When we decided to take that leap and quit our jobs and hit the road full time, it was so scary. But it's really inspiring knowing that so many of you guys hope to do the same thing one day, and having you behind us just has made us feel so grateful along the way.
It's motivating.
It is. Absolutely is. So for now, we're headed to SoCal for Christmas with my mom's side of the family. Even though my parents aren't around anymore, I have an awesome family that gets together every Christmas, and we're excited to spend some time with them. And then by the time you guys see this, it'll be right before the new year. And we just want to say happy 2025. I can't believe it.
That's crazy.
We hope you guys have big plans for the coming year. I know we do. And we're really excited to continue taking you for that big adventure out there. Bye.
Bye.